James. Keeping the legacy of James Booker up for years and years and years.
So much, David. I enjoyed particularly your show that he does every year, the James Booker special on his birthday. This is his 75th birthday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. He would have been 75. He was born in 39 and he died in 83. So, once again, I had the pleasure and honor to be the manager and owner of the Maple Leaf Bar, music manager, for from 74 till 95. And also the honor to be the manager of what I would say the most talented and gifted person I ever met in my life, Mr. James Carroll Booker III. And what can I say? The first thing I would like to say, he was a musician's musician. What I mean by that is he was known by international stars, like the Beatles knew of him, the Rolling Stones, Jimmy Buffett used to come in here regularly to hear him. Dr. John he played with, one of the greatest fiddle players in the world. Michael Doucet was one of his big fans who happens to be in the audience tonight. So could we give a sitting over there having a beer and a big hand for Michael. Also played here for many years on Saturday nights. And other ones you could go on. Marsha Ball was a big fan. First time Marsha Ball came in here, the first thing she did, she walked over to the piano and she said, "Ooh, I touched the same piano that James Booker played." It's true. But the irony of this, there's always ironies involved with James. If you go anywhere to, say, a suburb, Metairie, or you go to anywhere USA, and if you ask them who James Booker is, 99% of the people will say, "No, I never heard of him." So that's a strange thing. What set James Booker apart from just other piano players? I consider him a grandmaster as a piano player. I'm a chess player, so, first of all, was his mastery of so many different styles of music. He was classically trained as when he was just a little boy, his own words, it was like I was hatched out of a piano, he said. And his first piano teacher was a nun by the name of Sister Carissima. You gotta love that name, Sister Carissima. And another one named, well, I can't think of her name right now. So he was also trained in the church. He mentions his father was a preacher, and he grew up also was known as an organ player, one of the greatest organ players in the world. And he developed his singing voice. His style of singing in the gospel tradition is known as deep soul spiritual. And that's three words that define Booker very well. Another thing that set him apart, he had an incredible ability to imitate other piano players. They would often, when some of Fats Domino's early records was actually James Booker on the piano. And Earl King put it very well. He could sound more like Fats Domino than Fats Domino could. And another story, Huey Smith and the Clowns. Wonderful R&B group played in the late 50s around here. And Huey didn't like to go on the road. So James would go on the road as Huey Smith. The clowns would do the vocals, and he would just show up at the club and say, "Hi, I'm Huey Smith." And they use this thing, you've all heard the story that white people can't tell black people apart. Well, he took advantage of this situation. And a lot of us did. But yeah, he could play all the songs of these people, and not to mention Professor Longhair, Little Richard, Ray Charles, Liberace. He could play the music that they played and make it sound better. But the final point of all of this is that if you mention these people, he could play like them. They could not play like James Booker. None of these people. What else? James' personality. He had a certain, knowing him, a certain regal quality. He had several nicknames that he would go by: the Piano Prince, the Bayou Maharaja, the Piano Pope was one of them, and they all contained kind of a royalty. He did not like to be referred to himself as a piano player. He said, "I'm a pianist." And the other thing is that he referred to himself as an entertainer. There are many technical musicians that are very, very great classical musicians, but they can't sing, for example. But Booker was, above all, an entertainer. And my happiest memory of James Booker was on the occasion of his birthday. I can't remember the exact year, maybe it's about 1980, and somebody had made a birthday cake for him, and the piano was out on the patio for some reason. So he was in a very good mood that night, and he sat down on the piano and he just played so magnificently. It was written up in Ralph Adamo wrote it up in the Gambit. One lady described it as James Booker was a mad genius who just exploded. And she said she wished she could resurrect her dead grandmother to come back and hear it. It was such a magnificent performance. And there were other ones too. The Jazz Festival performance in the late 70s, around 76. He played in the performance tent. He didn't like being out in the sun too much, so they had him in the performance tent, and he played with Jack Cruz and Roger Martin on the bass and drums, and it was people, the whole crowd there just sat there in awe, like he could just make your jaw drop down like that. And he played one of his greatest performances, and he got up and took a bow, and you never heard such a roar in all your life. It was actually the best thing I've ever heard at the Jazz Festival, frankly. Another similar story to that is the one where he was playing here on the piano, and he came in, he had a cape on, and he played again, a beautiful performance. It was during the Jazz Festival or Mardi Gras, I think, or something. He played for a beautiful set, and he got up and he had the cape on, and he took a bow, and the audience just roared in approval, and then he opened up the cape, and he had nothing on underneath the cape, except for a little pair of red boots. Match the walls. So, other stories. Where's the statue?
It's over here.
It's up front,
right there.
Statue. Yeah, the significance of the statue is James. Say what you might about the Maple Leaf, but he played here. This was his spot to play until the time he died in '83. what I was told, it was he died tragically of not an overdose of cocaine, but somebody burned him with some rat poison, and he was taken in Charity Hospital to the coronary room, and a man came down and started a fight. The guy who was wheeling him to the heart room went to break up this fight. Another man came along, orderly, and saw his eye missing, and he took him to see an eye doctor, where he unfortunately died of internal organ failure, waiting to see an eye doctor. So the significance of the statue was, we used to have a laundromat here. It was back where the ladies' room is now. And James would like to hang out here. He would come in, and his métier was, he would take all his clothes off and throw them in the wash. And people would come in and say, "There's a naked man in the laundromat," and they said, "Oh, that's Booker, don't worry about it." And the policeman's cap is the strange thing. Soon after I became James' manager, his name is, the mayor appointed a new chief of police, whose name happened to be James Carroll Parsons, and my name is John Parsons, and that was Booker's middle name is Carroll. So this sort of freaked James out, and to be honest with you, it freaked me out a little bit too. So then that was when he got this police cap, and he got a policeman's shirt, and he had a badge too. And he was arrested in the Steak and Ale for imitating a police officer. I had to go get him out of jail. He would disappear. Nobody knew where he was. He just disappeared for a few weeks. Okay. Was I in love with James Booker? My answer to that is yes. I loved that crazy bastard more than I loved anything else in life. I think I could barely even talk about him or listen to other piano players after he died. I never tuned the piano in here, and so David Kunian can attest. I couldn't when I went to do a radio with him. I just couldn't talk about it. But somebody asked me, it was the original documentary, asked me, was James Booker crazy? And I thought about it for a few minutes, and I couldn't think of any way he wasn't crazy. You might say paranoid, schizophrenic, manic, depressive, alcoholic, drug addict in many respects, just one-eyed gay homosexual. I hope you all have your eye patches tonight. But he was self-destructive to the point of suicidal. Was James Booker in love with me? Well, that's a difficult question. It's the subject of written a screenplay, which I'm trying to sell right now, about James. And well, he was gay, and he told me this on several occasions. And I don't know. I used to be attracted. I'm not gay myself, but I was attracted to many gay people in my time, and but he used to take a cab, call me up all the time to see me, and he would take a $20 cab ride to come. I lived upstairs right there, and to borrow $30. And he said, "John, I've got to see you." But the one time he told me this, that John, you're like a brother to me. I don't know what you'd do without me. What I do.
That was good.
I'm like a brother. You're like a brother to me. I don't know what I'd do without you. Excuse my. Okay. So happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday.
The real deal, John Parsons. Speaking from the heart. One more time, y'all. John Parsons. The reason we have a lot more James Booker than we would think to listen to, and the reason this place is the Maple Leaf is really because he's one of the big reasons. John Parsons. John, don't forget your hat.